positivity, or looking for encouragement. Temia Brinson aims to educate you, to give you the push to believe, to have the mindset for success. Mindset for success. To have the mindset for success. To have the mindset for success.
All right. Welcome to the Mindset for Success show. I'm Temia Brinson, your host, and our guest today is Dr. Judy Mandrell, and she is the CEO of Dream Builders Greatness Center, and she's also has the Real Talk with Judy radio show, and also has the Leadership Academy and the Sister Girls Network. And we also have Chad McKendrick, and he is an author, a money coach, and he has run his own financial service agency all the way since 1989. All right, so we got some experts on today. So Dr. Judy Mandrell and Chad McKendrick, welcome to the show.
Thank you so very much for having me. It's an honor to be here on the Mindset for Success TV show with you, Sister Brinson, and with you also, Coach Chad. I am looking forward to a great conversation.
Likewise, it's just great to be here.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, so let's get into this. Our first segment here today, we're talking about building financial freedom and wealth in our communities. And, I ran across this CNBC article, and it says that when it comes to building wealth, many Black Americans are facing an uphill battle. The median annual wage for Black workers is about 30% lower than that of white workers, according to a McKinsey and Company report. And the report also found that 3.5 million of the country's Black households have a negative net worth due to debt. Okay. So to add to that, Black households generally start with less family wealth. And according to the McKinsey report, it estimated that a $330 billion disparity between Blacks and white families in the annual flow of new wealth. And it's because about 60% of that comes from inheritance. Okay, so let's discuss this information because I find this so startling. This is to both of you, but let's start off with you, Chad. How can our communities get to a place where we are leaving like inheritance? And I'm not talking about just life insurance. I'm talking about leaving an inheritance of a small business, leaving an inheritance of a debt-free home or a revenue generating rental property, or leaving an inheritance of a monthly paying dividends. So how can we get to the point where our community, we're leaving an inheritance?
Well, you just hit them all. You just hit them all. One of the simplest ones is life insurance. When you say not just life insurance, well, that's one of the areas that most families can actually do and actually get themselves into a position that they can leave their children's children an inheritance. Because when we think of life insurance as Black people, we normally think of life insurance as burial, just to bury. But life insurance is called cash leaving to the tax-free cash you leaving to the next generation. I don't look at life insurance like I used to look at life insurance. Life insurance is cash that I'm leaving to the next generation. Another one is real estate. Another one is intellectual property. Another one is stock. Another one is business. Now, those are the things that we can begin to invest in. And that's what I teach all of my clients to do, is to invest in those things. A lot of times we're consumers, but we don't build our net worth. We are consumers. We don't build our net worth. And when I see people say, a lot of actors, because my mind is so much on net worth, it's not funny. when I see actors or comedians or people that making a lot of money, I always
Mhm.
say, Google, what's their net worth? And I look at the net worth. And some of their net worth is just pathetic compared to the amount of money that they're bringing in. Because what you're investing in is how you build your net worth. And those things that we just called out are how the things that you need to build your net worth. Business is easy to if I don't have a business, I can invest in a business. Meaning that mom and pop down the street got a business, and I go give mom and pop $2,000, and I say I would like to have a percentage of your business. So that means I share in the profits of that business. So I help them, and they help me. So that's called you don't have to have a business; you can invest in a business. Then you got intellectual property. There's over 10 ways that you can make money online that you can get income coming to you. Then I mean, there's a array of things that we can do when it comes down to net worth. We don't even have enough time today to talk about the net worth. That's the key, building your net worth.
All right. Wonderful. We get some good information. That's what I like. Okay, so what about you, Dr. Mandrell? What do you think? How can we get to the place where we are leaving an inheritance?
As Coach Chad was just talking, I too don't look at insurance like I used to. It used to be a time where insurance, especially in Black household, was mainly looked at as barrier opportunity. But as I've grown, I think one of the things, in my opinion, what I honestly believe is that we have to start educating. The scripture said that my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, and what we don't know could hurt us. So, Coach Chad, I saw that you are a financial planner. Well, I got one. We got a financial planner so we can learn where to invest. We had to find out what really fit us and what we wanted: mutual plans, exchange trades, annuity, the whole life with the cash insurance. I learned with the insurance, you can leave an inheritance so they can get started. But we have to teach a lot of things that, unfortunately, we were not taught as African American. We were not taught about investment and different things. So a lot of that come up now. Okay, so and I believe that we have to surround ourselves with people who are talking about this. One of the things that I teach people as we're going through this and getting the financial investment and different things, you start with your life of integrity. Your mind has to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. A lot of things we just don't know or didn't know. Okay, so now we've learned to invest in business, teach them how to be entrepreneurs. And I know one of the things we're going to get into is about the young age, but how do I get grandma at 70 now to look at the insurance policy and raise her investment, or granddad to change, to learn how to leave this inheritance? How do we get this business going? We educate. Okay, and we have to put people in places of people who are talking about this, right? So we have to really, I honestly believe that we're destroyed for lack of a knowledge, but we have
Amen.
to get our mind. Everybody's not going to start a business. So I was glad that Chad just said, okay, I can invest. But what does that mean? You know, we have to make it as simple as possible. We have a lot of people that this lady just died that I know of, and she left $500,000 to her church. $500,000. Was that an inheritance? By far. So now the church get to do some things, and the guy now has gotten the same financial planner that I had. Why? Because he learned and was better educated,
Right.
right? So we have to educate us of how to do this. Get these folks in this insurance business who know this. Everybody's not going to invest in stock, but what best fit you? What is it that you want to leave? Everybody's not going to start a business, but one of
Right.
the things that's important is teach them how to buy property.
Hmm.
That's my, and how to spend. We don't have to live. we don't live in our means. We live below what we make.
Right.
Because we got a future plan.
Right. Exactly. Wow. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, we're getting some good information today. This is really hot. I love it. I love it. So let me ask you too. You can't build wealth and become financially free without first understanding the basics. How important is it to practice budgeting? Let me give you an example because my personal experience is that, when you set up a venue, you go to a venue and you plan on doing a certain event, especially hotels, small businesses, the first thing they're going to ask you is, what's your budget? Because that salesperson know better. They probably been in the sales business for a while, so they know better to just to give you the outright prices. They would rather work with you on your budget and put you in a room for what you're looking for, that size you're looking for, and that you'll have a certain amount of people there that they can feed or what have you. So the first thing they're going to do is ask, what's your budget, to work within that, and then that's a guaranteed sale. Okay, so the same thing with the restaurants. They do the same thing, the hotels, small businesses. So this is to both of you again. How important is it to practice budgeting? Chad, let me go to you first.
Well, that's my book. My book is about a book. It's called a strategy that I teach my families. It's called a 10-10-20-60. 10% of your money is to share, 10% of your money is to play, 20% of your money is for priorities and building your future, and then the 60% is what you pay and operate out of your bills. Well, I don't have to worry about quote unquote budgets because I place the money where it needs to go. Every time I get paid, I do 10-10-20-60. So I always have money to give, I always have money to play, I always have money for priorities and for my future, and I always have money to pay my bills. So I don't have to go on a budget, quote unquote, a budget, meaning that it says penny pinching. If I went to a restaurant, all I do is go into my play account. When I go to church, I go to my share account. When if life happens unexpectedly, then I can go to my priority account. And then I have my bill account. So every time I get paid, I'm always replenishing. I'm doing what the scripture talked about. See, Joseph taught this concept to in Egypt. He taught them, and that's why when they had the drought, everybody had to come to them. Why? Because Joseph taught this strategy. We started in the church. We started at the 10%, but we didn't keep it going. You got to keep it going. 10, 10, 20, 60. When you do that, now you always have money. So when I'm playing, whatever's in the play account is what I play on. When my wife say, "Hey, we going to the store," I say, "Okay, go ahead. That's fine. Well, how much we got in there?" I tell how much in there. I say, "But spend it fast, spend it slow, spend it all, ain't no more." So it helps her. It helps the whole family. So everybody knows what's in each account. Everything is already managed. So now those are the accounts that you would use. So I don't have to quote unquote penny pinch, because if I made $50,000 in 1 month, well, I already did a 10-10-20-60. So if I spend every dime that's in the 60%, I already saved. I saved before I got started. Most people cut costs to create a saving and never do.
That's good. 10, 10, 20, 60.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote that down. 10,
Yeah,
10.
every time you get paid. Every time I get $1, 10-10-20-60.
10, 10, 20, 60.
Don't we do that with God's money? We say we're gonna put 10% back for the Lord. If I made $50 million, I'm gonna do 10% to the Lord. But we stop there. See, it's not incorrect, but it's just incomplete.
Yeah, and one of the things I've learned as well, Chad, to add to you, that was real good to me. I know you didn't bring me in. I just kind of jumped in because that was good what he was saying. But yeah, because I one of the scriptures that I live by is in Luke 14:28. He said, "Don't begin until you count the cost." For who would begin construction of a building without first calculating the cost to
Yes.
see if there's enough money to finish it?
Yes.
Otherwise, you might complete only the foundation before running out of money, and then everyone would laugh at you. They would say, "There's the person who started that building and couldn't afford to finish." So
Yes.
one of the things that I think is important to go along with what you're saying, we got to look at what we have. And so a lot of time when you say budget, it becomes a fearful word, and it make us think I'm not going to have enough money to spend, or I have to penny pinch. But in actual, because we wasn't brought up with budget, our parents and our grandparents knew how to take that pie, that pie, and cut it in however many pieces it needed to be cut into. So if there were 16 people in that family, they knew how to take that pie and cut it that all 16 got an equal point. But what has happened in the coming years, Coach Chad and Sister Temia, is that now we become educated in how to slice the pie. I like the 10, 10, 20, 60. So no matter how you do it, you just start, no matter what you have. And it comes, and for us to do that, it has to be discipline. It has to be a discipline there. So we'll start off with 10, and you here you go. I'm big on education, teaching us and us learning and teaching in a concept that we could understand. Because you just said, even if I had $1, so how do I take 10% of $1? That's 10 cents. Okay, now I take 10%, 20, 60, and if we can discipline ourselves to that metric, I think that would be good. But we got to count up the cost. We got to learn how to do it. So how important do I think it is? I think it's important to have either a budget or a mechanism in place that would help us count the cost and stick to it. But we're going to have to be disciplined to that. And our teachers have to have patience to understand that even as Black folk, we never had a budget, not in actuality, but they knew how to make it work.
Well, the strategy that I learned it from our forefathers. Grandmama used to have money in the corner and up under the bed for different purposes. They had it for different purposes. See, I learned this law is called the Parkinsons Law of Money. 1955, Parkinson's did a study on money and how people handle money. He said the more money we have, the more money we spend. So we spend by nature. So only way we can beat the Parkinson's Law of Money is we have to save immediately with a purpose. That's what Grandmama and them did. They saved, as soon as they got money, they saved immediately with a purpose. And that purpose was, well, this money's going to be for this. This is for the rent. This money is over here for this. And this money over here for this. And this money is here for this. That's why Grandma and them always had money. That's where the 10, 10, 20, 60 come from, is that you're going to always do these things. Those 10 things, functions I just told you, you're going to do them regardless. 10, you're going to share. Some people say, well, I'm not playing. You're not playing right now, but you're going to buy something for yourself eventually. One day you're going to buy something for yourself. So you need to put money aside for playing. And then you put aside money for priority. Why we say priority? Priority means that your brain would say, I can't touch that money, priority money to go to Burger King. I can't touch that priority money to go shopping because it's for priority. See, you have to program yourself. You discipline yourself by what you label your money. See, money without a purpose leaves your hands quickly. Money without a purpose leaves your hand quickly. As fast, easy come, easy go. And I like to say the fool and his money will soon part ways. That's why I hate to see them boys talking about something, let's make it rain. Fool.
Oh my goodness. Lord, we getting a wealth of knowledge and an appeal to the comedy side. Lord Jesus.
So, and I think it's important that we take this to our community, and it may have to start small, because sometimes honestly people just don't know. And if they know, they say, well, I'm going to die with my money. I'm going to spend it now. I may not have the chance to do it tomorrow. And I look at that as unlearned.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
As unlearned. I look at those, why buy a pair of Jordans when they're going to take all my money?
Come on.
Just wait a minute. But it has to be taught, because what happened to Mia and Chad is that those are priorities to people. Though that Jordan is a priority to people. And so we have to teach it in a way that they understand the value of tomorrow.
I like
Wow.
I like to say the reason I wrote the book is because I used to be one that I love the Lord, and I expect the best. I walk by faith. I believe God, so I always expect the best. But I messed up one area. In one area, you got to plan for the worst and expect the best. I just expected the best. So when the worst happened, then it was like money going out the back door, because I wasn't planning for the worst. See, planning for the worst means that you save money. See, I always say, if you save money, money will save you. But if you don't save no money, money can't save you. So you got to plan for the worst and expect the best. So that's what the 10-10-20-60 does, is planning for the worst, so we can expect the best. Because God got the best for you. But see, the best don't just come. You ain't gonna have my grandma used to say, every day ain't howdy howdy. That's when you get to heaven.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Awesome. Awesome stuff. I love it. I love it. Okay. So let's move on, because we talked about inheritance and we talked about establishing a budget.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move on to wealth in the community now. How important is it to keep wealth within our community? Because it's a study by the Civic Center for Economic Growth. I hope I'm saying that right. Civic Center for Economic Growth found that money circulates one time in the African American community, 6 times in the Latino community, and 9 times in the Asian community. And in white neighborhoods, money circulates nearly an unlimited number of times. So, how important is it to keep the wealth in our community? So, let me go ahead and play this clip though before you two answer, and then we're gonna watch this, and then I want your thoughts afterwards.
Recently, we've seen protesters march to improve police relations in the Black Lives Matter movement.
We're trying to encourage people to open up accounts with a black bank.
One United Bank president, Terry Williams, would like to see activists join the movement to create more financial stabilities in black communities.
We spend more than some whole countries spend, but we don't spend that money in our community, which means that we're not building wealth in our community.
So Williams started a movement called Bank Black. As the leader of the largest black-owned bank in the country, one located in Miami's Liberty City neighborhood, she is challenging everyone to open an account in a black-owned bank.
Really? That's good.
College student Taylor Altador is opening a checking account.
I think it's really important because if we don't support our own, if we don't support ourselves, then it's becoming evident that no one else is going to support us as much as we can do ourselves, especially our black churches, our black businesses, our black schools, our black professionals.
Williams promises that One United fees are lower and the rate of return are higher. But the most important mission to her is educating customers about how to grow wealth.
So we really tailor our products to the needs of our community. And we also focus on home ownership. The biggest difference between black and white wealth is home equity, how much equity someone has in their home.
All right. So let me get your thoughts from both of you, because I want to know, this is something that I've been pondering on for the past like 5 years. Okay. So how important is it to keep wealth within our community? Because, this is one of the ways how we can build our own community and also create jobs and opportunities within our own community. So let me go to you, Chad. How do you feel about that? How important is it to keep wealth within our own community?
Well, we have to remember the first step is we got to understand who is our community? Remember when Jesus, I think it was the Pharisees want to challenge Jesus and say, well, who is our neighbor? Well, who is our community? Our community is African American descent. So if I live in a real rich community, but I have a business, that's my community. That's your community. It doesn't matter what we try to do. Is we try to focus on the area. Cause see, my office is in Eatonville, so we are focused on the area. And in the area in Eatonville, we don't have no grocery stores. We don't have nothing in Eatonville. So how can I invest in if I think of community, I'm thinking about, well, how can I invest in my community? We don't have anything in my community. Well, we got to begin to look at community, mean African descent people that have businesses. That might be downtown, but he's an African American. Like we got Mr. Black that sells Mercedes Benz. He's an African American. I'm gonna go to buy my Mercedes Benz from him. Where is his? It's in Millennial. It's not in Eatonville. It's in Millennial. Millennial is a beautiful, rich place that people buy stuff. But he's an African American, so I'm gonna purchase from him. That's what we have to get to. A lot of times we say, well, we're going to invest in our community. Well, if you build your wealth, now you can begin to change your community and begin to put businesses in our community as well. So I'm not saying don't do it in our community, but we can't get stuck in just saying, okay, well, we don't have it in our community, so I'm going to go over here and buy my Mercedes from John Doe. But he's not African American, but we don't have that in Eatonville, so I'm gonna go buy it from him. Well, we do have some black folk that do that too. We have black folk that do stuff everywhere.
Yeah. So you came back and you touched on something after you said it, then you came back and said it. One of the things I do here in Tallahassee and that we're working on real hard here in Tallahassee is to upbuild this black community. Mm-hmm. We want Mercedes dealership in the black community. We want grocery stores in the black community. We don't want the only thing in the black community to be the liquor stores and the pawn shop. It speaks to the mentality of the people. People become what they see often. Mm-hmm. And so it is important that I agree with you that we patronize our black owners in different things. We work with them. And I think it's as equally important that we can get some of this stuff in the black communities. That if we can put some of these grocery stores, we have one in Tallahassee called Piggly Wiggly. It's owned by a black man. And a lot of the black people now are learning how to go to his store and not Winn-Dixie. I'm a Winn-Dixie girl. I love Winn-Dixie. But Mr. King got the best bacon in the store. So a lot of things that we set up, I'm in partnership with him because he's a black owner. One of the things I had to do, Coach Chad, Ms. Temia, is to get his store up to a place of business where it would attract people who live in Calern, that's a high area in Tallahassee, but don't mind shopping on the south side where Piggly Wiggly is. And so that means that our stores have to be cleaner. Our food have to be fresher, as fresh as Publix, whatever it has to do. One of the things I think that takes away money from the black community is that there is a underlying teaching that blacks don't really trust black people. That is a problem that some people don't want to face, but a lot of blacks would rather trust the Asian or the Japanese, whoever does the nails, would trust them more than we would a black person open up a nail shop. Okay, we trust. Our trust has been put to defer each other, and it's real. We fight each other more than lift each other up. Kamala Harris was put as vice president, you have more black people saying she didn't deserve to be there. She wasn't qualified. Why not? And so in our community, in our churches, in our race of people, we don't have enough trust. Check this, for instance. You could go into a white restaurant and they can have the worst service. What you going to do? You're going to come back. That's the majority. That's the majority. You have a few who won't. You go into a black establishment, they mess up. Man, that's about it. They done the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But this is what I believe, and I do this in every relationship I have. If I think that you're messed up according to my expectation, I tell you. I've gone back to black restaurant owners here in Tallahassee to tell them, your host didn't not greetable. They don't make it good. Because why? I want to keep my money in the black restaurant. We have 4 crab places here in Tallahassee. Crafted Crab is agent owned. It's a juicy crab. They're owned by the same people. Juicy Crab, Crafted Crab, Mr. and Mrs. Crab, all of them owned by the same people. But my favorite one is Crab Shack. It's owned by a black man. But I eat at all of them. But majority of my dollar go to Crafted Crab, Eric McKendrick, and he is known everywhere. On my radio show, I advertise everybody, but I get the black people to support me more. And that's because of relationship. They got to trust you. So to me, how important it is very important. Because y'all think about this, we're educated, we're doing things higher than we ever did before, but we still have a deficit of financial wealth disparity between the American white and the American blacks.
I also say, what coming back to the black community, is that I always try to help families to understand that their ice is not as cold as our ice. You got it.
Right.
Their ice is not as cold as our ice. We get the same thing. We have the same product, but what we think that their ice is colder than our ice. And one of the things is because we don't trust each other. And I always tell them too. I always say trust is earned. See, so we do have to step our game up in business, also in our community. Trust is earned. You can't just say, okay, because I'm black, I'm gonna patronize you. Because see, I patronize a lot of black people. But if you are not doing right business, I'm gonna come back to you and I'm gonna say, well, my client told me I referred them to you and you didn't do that. Such. It's like, oh, okay, Chad, I'm sorry, man. We're gonna take care of that. They take care of it. It's fine. They do it again, and then they do it again. I'm like, okay, you lost the trust. See, we got to earn our trust. Now, we can't just go with the black card. Okay, I got the black card. No, you got to have good quality business for me to patronize. And so we got to do that as well. One thing I also say is that we got to build, if you got to go out, like my son, he's working on a job. He have a business. We have a family business that he can work, but he working a job so he can learn more skills to bring it back to the business. That's what we got to do. You go out there and get the money. You go to money in the downtown area, you make the money out there. Great, but bring it back to your community. Bring that same thing back to your community after you don't build it up. You don't design it. You got a franchise now. Now you're franchising it. Bring the franchise back to our community. That's what we got to start doing. That's what, when you look at Magic Johnson, you look at LeBron. I love the way they're doing it, is that they're building franchises, but yet they're going to bring that franchise back to our community. Because you get it out there, but bring it back home. And see, and that's another area that we can do to build our wealth in our community, is that you get it out there, but bring it back home. Just like when you go off to school. You go off to school, you learn what you got to learn, but bring it back to the farm. That's how you keep building it. It's that we have to continue to build that way. We can't keep saying, well, I'm going to run away from the community and never come back to help the community. That's what we got the HBCUs, is that the alumni not giving back to the community like they should. They're not giving back to that school. They get all the education from the school, but don't bring nothing back to the school. When you look at the white colleges, they bringing that money back to their schools. But then we say, well, they ain't going to do right by the money. Well, get in there and help them do right by the money. Stop complaining about it. We complain about it instead of doing something about it. See, I want to do something about it. That's why my office is in Eatonville. I have a corporate office. My office is all over. Our company is all over the world. And they asked me where I want to put my office. I said Eatonville. Eatonville is the black community. For those that don't know, Eatonville is the oldest black township incorporated in the world. Zora Neale Hurston is the one that helped build that community. That's why I wanted to put my office in our community, because I want to be able to educate our people about the things that everybody else knows. So my door is always swinging open and closed, because people come in there learning. I teach them all the time, because the first step for us getting to where we need to go is education.
That's right.
You got to know. You can't go where you don't know.
That's right. And I believe that's what it is with our young people. We'll get into that, but it is important. I like what you're saying. One of the things, we've had so many people to ask us to move. We live in Southside. Our house is in Southside. I love my house, and I told them I'm just as comfortable. Well, they're trying to get me to move all on the other side. But I like to be right in the trenches. And the reason why I learned that was my mom and dad did when we grew up. We lived in the middle class section. I don't want to go way out there. I don't. I like right here, because I'm better on hands, And so now and I think that even with the teaching, we teach the self-value. We teach the worth. We teach integrity. We teach character. And all of that comes in with handling money. Because if I don't believe and I think, and I'm grabbing. No, some of my best friends, not best friend, I use that word, they ain't none of my best friend, but some of my closest friends, some rich white people here in this city, I can go to them for anything. But what they're teaching me, what I have learned from them is I don't have to ride around in a Lamborghini to prove that I have money.
That's right.
I don't have to do that. I drive what I drive because I want to, not for prestige. Yeah. Most of the time I'm in a Kia. I drive a Kia van that got Dream Builders Greatness Center all around it. That's what I drive. I drove up at the mayor house, but guess what? So many people respect that van. Mr. Chad, I drive up, I get valet downtown free. They just, here come Dr. Judy. But that car has gained respect because of me. Mm-hmm. I'm a woman of integrity and character. Mm-hmm. I mostly wear Converse tennis shoes. I dress up with all of this and put on Converse tennis shoes, depending on which one I want and my shade. But the integrity and the character that make the value and the wealth more than anything. And then we take it to that community. And so a lot of the lunches that I have and the business dealing that I have is done in the South Side.
Yeah, right. That's good. Okay, so let me interrupt y'all. I know this is getting good and hot, but we were about to eat up our time on the first segment. This is good. This is really good. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break right now. And when we come back, we're going to talk to our two experts. We have a small business owner and we have a money coach. So we're going to talk to our two experts about having a mindset for success when it comes to building financial freedom and wealth in our community. So we'll be right back after this break. All right, we are back. And you are watching Mindset for Success Show. I'm Temia Brinson, your host, and our guest today is Dr. Judy Mandrell. She is the CEO of Dream Builders Greatness Center. She also has the Real Talk with Judy radio show, and also the Leadership Academy and the Sister Girls Network. And we also have Chad McKendrick, and he is an author, a money coach, and he has run his own financial service agency since 1989. So we have two experts on today. So let's get right into our second segment. And for you all who follow the show, you know that our second segment is always about how can we get our community to having a mindset for success. So this is to the both of you again. How important is it? Again, we're talking about building financial freedom and wealth in our own communities. So how important is it to start with our children when they're young? Teaching them about money, being a good steward, the principles of finances according to the biblical laws, sowing and reaping, building wealth. How can we get to started with our children? Chad, let's start off with you.
Well, the scripture tells us to train a child as you have them to go, and when they're older, they will not depart from it. Whatever you train them, that's what they're going to be. That's what they're going to become. They will always default to that what they were trained. We know when we were little kids, we always default to what we were taught when we were little kids. So we have to train our children. In my book, I also teach on how to manage money. I call it 3-can system. Whereas when my kids were little, my son was 9 and my daughter was 7. I wasn't gonna give them no money unless you knew how to count. So my daughter had to learn how to count. She learned how to count, and because I would give my son money, but she wasn't getting no money, but she had to learn how to count. So she learned how to count at 7. He learned at 9. Now she's up there with you, Dr. Judy. She's at Florida State, and she learned when she was little. I taught them the 3-can theory. It's called share, save, and spend. The share can is what you share with the church and your birthdays, friends, and things like that. Save is for college, that you're gonna have money to spend in college. And then the spend money is what you can buy right now, whatever you want to buy right now. So whenever they got money, they had to put some money in the share can, some money in the save can, some money in the spend can. So I taught them the very basic understanding of how to manage money. I said, you don't do anything before you do this. And so I trained them that way. My daughter got away from the training. She called me up there at Florida State. She called me. Well, she didn't tell me. I overheard her talking to her mom saying, I borrowed money from my friends because I was going to get the $100 this week. And I was like, Amanda, what are you doing? Why you doing that? She said, well, I wanted to go to the party, and I went to the party, and I didn't have the money, so I got the money from them, and then I paid them back. I said, do you have your play account? She said, yeah, but I don't put nothing in it because I don't play all the time. I say, that's why you got to borrow, because you ain't been putting the money back. Every time, remember, we train you. Every time you get money, you put some back for play. Every time. And she said, okay, Daddy. We ain't never had that problem again. But we train them when they're young of how to do that. Then we train them when they're young on how to build net worth. You want to invest in net worth. Your net worth is real estate, stock, business, and intellectual property. You want to always do that. Now, my son does Robinhood app. It's a Robinhood app that you can buy. I always say, if I'm going to consume, I need to buy. I need to consume from my own self. So if I'm going to go to Walmart, well, I'm going to buy some Walmart stock. So when I go and buy something at Walmart, I'm really buying for myself. So I always teach them that. If you're going to frequent a place, make sure that you buy some of their stock so that you're buying from yourself. You begin to buy from yourself. So I teach them that principle so they can accumulate wealth. Now, Warren Buffett has all he has because he said he don't time the market. It's called time in the market. And so what he does is he buy and he hold, buy and he hold. I teach my kids the same thing. Whatever you frequent, buy you some of that stock. Even if you bought one share. If you want to buy, you're going to buy Nike or Jordans, go buy some of their stock first and then go buy. So I'm teaching them from kids for what to do. Yes.
I love it. That was the same thing. Not all that you said, but I was going to say, train up in the child in the way he should go. And when he get old, he won't depart from it. I love to share, save, and spend. I love to invest in where you shop. All of those is good, are good. And if we can teach it to the children at a young age, when they get old, they won't depart from it. And so we can start teaching now. You said your daughter started counting at 7. She wasn't going to get any money till then. And we can start teaching these principles, Chad now, Temia now at a young age. We'll have better prepared adults. But they'll start now at a young, it's very important. And see, we're learning all of this. So some of the things that I know now or learned about 15 years ago or 20 years ago, I would be, who knows what, now at 62, greater than where I am now. But we have to teach it to our children at a young age. And I believe that if we do that now, when they get older, even the principle of what you just stated, as far as get a start or get a share of where you spend all the time. And then you're bound from yourself because you're going to become part of that. My husband and I, we are stockholders in Sam and Walmart and different places because that's where he worked. That's where he invests. We shop there a lot. I love Walmart. So I definitely had to become a shareholder. Piggly Wiggly. It's a Black-owned company. I'm investing people to go. I want shares in that. The Crab Shack. I want shares in that. Those different places. But I learned that not at a young age, but at an older age. But if we can teach that at a young age, Chad, we teach that to our children at a young age. By the time they get 25. They too can be walking around. You're talking about making millionaires? Oh, wow. We start teach them how to be entrepreneurs now.
Yes.
Yeah, get those. Oh, God, this is good.
My daughter is a nanny in Tallahassee, and she has a nanny business in Tallahassee. So I taught her how to be an entrepreneur in being a nanny. So she's a nanny, and then she has another a job, and she's getting all A's at Florida State because I've been teaching her. We've been teaching our kids from an early age about money. We don't hold nothing back about money. Everything. I mean, we talking about everything about money. That's one thing that we mess up in our Black community, is that we don't talk to them about the good and the bad and the ugly of money, and then we don't tell them how to begin to build wealth. Right now, my son has more than I had. He's 21, 25. He had more money than I had when I was 40.
Yeah.
But
he's been taught.
That's right.
He was taught. And unfortunately, a lot of our families don't have fathers and parents in the home who even know what you know.
Right.
So they couldn't teach it. But like we're having this, and we do this here in Tallahassee because we have a young lady, Christy Henry, and some folks here in Tallahassee who really getting into our community, and we're bringing these children, these young children. I'm in the elementary school, and we're bringing people like you and all these financial planners into our circle now with our young children, because we teach them now they don't have to rob and steal.
Right.
When they get 15, if we can teach it and instill it now and teach them how to have those cans.
Yeah, I have on my website, I have the youth, young adults, and 55 plus. I teach each one of those categories are different. So you have to teach that. She's like Temia saying, we got to teach our children, and they learn different than the adults. So you got to be able to break it down for them to understand.
Exactly.
Yeah, let me stop you right there, Chad, because that is something that I want to get from each of you. Just because of the audience, we can help somebody today, and that's the whole goal of this show, having a mindset for success. So I want to play this clip because it's basically talking about teaching our young people, and I want your thoughts on the other side, because I want examples from you about how do you teach the small, I guess the elementary to the middle school, and then how do you teach like high school and college? But let me play this and we'll be right back.
Financial success and financial literacy often go hand in hand. Yet research shows Black Americans' knowledge of saving and investing, earning and borrowing, often lags significantly behind whites. That's according to a report by TIAA Institute and George Washington University. Those who need financial education the most often have the least access to it. Another report found that only 4% of low-income high school students are required to take a personal finance course to graduate. If the schools won't do it, educate yourself.
When I was growing up, I knew absolutely nothing about money, how it works. I just knew you needed it. And that's why I believe that in school they should be teaching you financial intelligence the same way they teach shop, because I highly doubt that I will ever want to build a birdhouse, but I will need to balance a checkbook at home or in my company.
All right, that is from CNBC. And so I just wanted you guys to chime in about, how you can teach kids at different ages about money. Let me give you an example. This is my personal story, my experience, okay? My daughter, I have a daughter, she just turned 23. She's in college, hopefully about to finish next year, okay? Praise God. But anyway, when she was growing up, I say around elementary, middle school, I taught her how to handle her money. Whenever she got paper money from her grandparents or anyone for her birthday, I taught her, okay, well, you can go and spend some on yourself, but always put some money back. And that stayed with her, even in high school when she got her job, and now in college, whenever she get like money, like a lump sum of money, because, they have a student funding. So whenever she get extra money, she has a joint account, mutual fund with her grandpa. Okay. So she don't even put it in her account. I say 1,000 or whatever. She send it cash app to her papa, and he put it in their joint account so she can have accrue interest. Okay. And not only that, when she was younger, every time we go to a Burger King or go shopping and we know she have paper money, like you just got money, she will sit on that money and let you pay for whatever you want to pay for. And do you know, to this day, she will take whatever gift you're going to give her, whether it's a birthday or not. She'll let you pay for it, especially her grandparents, okay? She will sit right there. No matter how much money she got sitting in the bank account now, she won't use her money for nothing. Whatever you're going to volunteer, baby, she will let you volunteer, okay? So that's my personal experience. It kind of worked out good because I think she have a good, ethic as far as her money and saving. So let me start with you. Let's switch it up. Let me start it with you, Judy. Give me an example about small kids, elementary, middle school. How do you teach? Because like the clip stated, we're gonna have to start teaching now because they're not doing it in the classroom. So we're gonna have to teach our own kids about money. So from the elementary or middle school, how do you teach those kids about money?
One of the things that we practice and teach our parents, because I do a lot of with family building, is that we teach them the art of practice delayed gratification. So for instance, you put something in, and I've seen it work too, but you put something in front of the child and you tell them don't touch it, something they like, maybe some candy or something, tell them don't touch it. You don't give it all to them, you give it half to them, okay? Because what you want to teach is that more come if you delay the gratification, all right? So you put the candy or whatever in the front of them and tell them that you'll be back in a little bit and don't touch it. If you come back, when I come back, if it's still there, you get more. And you can also do it with money once they understand the concept of money. So you leave it there and you come back. And what we have found to happen is some of the children ate it right then. Some waited till we got back. This is just the elementary. This is from kindergarten to 4th grade that you can do this. And so you start doing that, and you do it when you come back. You really give the other one the rest of it, and the ones who didn't get it, you said you ate it already. But I want more. You can't. There is no more. But the ones who wait, and after you do this a period of time, and what we have learned and what we have seen happen, some of the children, but the majority of the children now are getting to understand that. And when they understand that principle, then we take it further. We started with a quarter, 50 cents. We started with 50 cents, put 1 quarter there. And you don't touch that quarter till we get back. You get the other. What else we have done to help the families? We've had them together. I know people don't do this much, Temia, but we got piggy banks back in the houses. Put the piggy banks back in the houses.
Right.
So if you do the piggy bank, and if you we give you a quarter, and if you can hold on till we come back, then we'll give you another quarter, and you put the other quarter, your first quarter, in the piggy bank. Those are just little things that we can do with the elementary children, and as they get older, you teach them how to handle money. You give them a smaller allowance, $10 per month. Okay. And when chores are expected to be completed and not paid for, you give them the opportunity to earn money when they are completed. You're teaching entrepreneur skills. You're teaching how to earn your money, and then you teach them how to save it.
Right. Awesome.
And
Great
that's
information,
Judy.
especially for the audience out there who are raising young kids, even at the small age. You can teach them, start teaching them about money. Okay, so Coach Chad, let me go to you. Well, how do you teach high school and young adults, college age? How do you teach them about money?
Well, when you talk about high school, they are a little different than elementary, as Dr. Judy eloquently explained to us how you're supposed to train a child about money. When you get to youth, now they want to start buying things. Well, because I was doing the share, save, spend, it was easier for them to buy things. It was easy for them to share money. They're easy for them to save for college. Because my son said at first, when I did the college, when he was a little kid, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna save for college." But when he became a youth, he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit in there for college, because I want to do such and such." I said, "Well, see, the college is not for you to pay for college; it's for you to spend in college." He like, "Oh, okay." He want to save a little bit more, so I was teaching him how to save money for college because he wanted to save money so he have money to spend in college. So that's how you teach the youth. But when you get to the young adult, that's those 20 something. The 20 somethings, they have to learn how to get their credit together. They have to learn how to establish credit. So I teach them how to establish credit. I teach them how they need to save money, how they need to get ready to leave their mama's house. Before you leave your mama's house, you got to have some things in place. You got to have money saved. You got to know how to pay it. You got to know how to pay rent. You got to know how to pay lights. With my niece, she stayed with me for a minute to get herself going. What we did for her is she gave me rent money. I didn't take the rent money. I put it in a mutual fund. Every time we get her rent money, we put it in a mutual fund. So when she left my house with $10,000. When she walked out of the door, she had $10,000, but she knew how to pay rent. And then she went and got a place that was cheaper than what she was paying me. So she learned how to pay rent, and she had money saved, and she saved on the rent. So when she moved out, she never had to move back again. See, that's why the door is a revolving door, because you don't teach them before they leave. So you got to teach the young adults. Young adults have great aspiration. When you're 20, you are crazy. You like, I want to do this. I want to do this. You want to do everything. So you got to teach them. You can't stop the water from coming down the hill. You just got to channel the water. You got to channel them. You can't stop them. You can't say, no, you can't do that. No, you say you want to move out. Okay, now let's look at 30% of your income supposed to be for your rent. Okay. If you're making $1,000, how much can you afford for rent? $300, right? You might need 3 roommates.
Okay.
Oh, okay. See, because you got to get them the reality. Because if you don't give a young adult reality, they'll go. Because remember when we was young, you spend everything you got, and you be having these big dreams of what you're gonna do and all the money you're gonna make and all of that stuff. I break it down to reality. This is how it works. And when I do that, it helps them to get a handle on it and begin to say, let me think about this move that I'm getting ready to make. So it helps. So that's how I teach young adults, youth, and young adult. Youth is they just crazy. They just go and do whatever. But so you got to teach them to share, save, spend, and then the young adults, you got to teach them how to make that transition on their own to be. They call it adulting.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, one of the things I wanted to say too, along with what Coach Chad was saying, was our parents always taught us to live beneath our means. Don't live where you are, to live below that. So if you're making $100,000, well, if you're making $30,000 a year, live like you're making 20.
Well,
Live like
Dr. Judy, when you do 10, 10, 26, you already automatically live beneath your means.
living.
Remember, because you got 10 going away, 10 going away, and 20 going away. So you're talking about you living off of 60%. So you're not living off 100%.
Right.
The old way was, let me cut costs so I can begin to start to save, when you never do that. So how you live beneath your means is that when you separate your money, you automatically is living beneath your means. That's how I got in trouble, is because I was living at my means. And when my means dropped, I was in trouble. So when I did the 10, 10, 20, 60, I never get in trouble again, because I'm always living beneath my means.
Yeah.
So we're doing the same thing, but I'm just showing how to actually use this. And then you still teach that. You say you're going to live beneath your means. Why? Because you're going to save first. That's how we live beneath our means. I don't want you to cut costs and call yourself going to save, because I know you ain't going to do that.
Exactly.
Because we got people that cut costs on their light bill, and then they don't save it. So you saved it, but you didn't save it. So if I live beneath my means and I don't save it, Parkinson's Law says I'm going to spend it. I'm going to use it for something else. You say, I'm going to Walmart. I'm saving money at Walmart. Well, what you did with that saving? You went and bought something else.
You
didn't save it. All you did just rechannel that money. See, what I'm teaching is, no, we're going to save it now, immediately. So then now we're going to live beneath our means. When we live beneath our means, that's fine. I cut costs to protect my savings. I don't cut costs to create a savings, because I never do it.
Right.
Wonderful. Awesome. So you guys, we about to run into our time. Okay. So
all right,
let me wrap this up. And well, you guys know how I prepare for the show. So I had questions that I didn't even get to. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to invite you guys back, because this money thing in our community, this is just so much needed. And I can tell you guys got the wealth of knowledge from a small business owner and a money coach. Oh, I mean, you guys together, you two experts. Oh my God. Lord.
I love it, Dr.
Help
Judy.
us, Lord.
And one of the things I do, as we've been sitting here taking notes and all, because I think what helps us as individuals is that we always keep our mind open for growth.
Yes.
For growth and change. We always do that. And then as we learn it, we take it back and we impact others.
Yes.
Amen. So let me ask you guys both. Let's keep this short, because right after this question, I'm going to give you two space to announce anything you want to announce, or any projects you're working on, anything you want to pitch or say. Then I'll give you space for that. So, but right now, quickly, what can we do to have these conversations in our own home? Because even growing up, and they don't teach you about money in high school, and then when you come out in the real world, it's like, oh my goodness. And then also, when you get a grip on money when you're young, just imagine how much wealth you would have accumulated. So I think these conversations need to be going on in the home. So how can we go ahead and make sure that that's happening in our community? Judy, let me start with you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So like with my family affairs program, okay, the idea was to go into the home before COVID came. We were going to take it back to old social work school. And so I've had the opportunity now to work with over 99 parents in a year and a half. And what we're doing is, number one, we're bringing it to the schools. Okay. Those parents begin to trust you as you're talking to them. Then you invite them to your Zoom. And this is where we are now. You invite them to your Zoom. You set it up. You get them so, like right now, so hyped. The conversation will continue because they'll say, hey, listen, you got to get on with Chad. You got to get on with Temia. You got to get on with Judy. You got to get on. Look at what they're teaching me to say. And look at little Bobo. Bobo got his own account. Look what he's doing. He started to eliminate. They had a fun fair out to the school where we were. And I think I put it on my Facebook page. There were 5 young children who started their own business, making their money. They learn how to count too, Chad. They know how to count. They're making some of their money. But we got to just make it happen. Open up a space. Started at McDonald's. Started wherever. Invite them. Tell them this. I want to teach your children how to have good wealth in the family. Your parents will come. Just like sometimes they'll send their children to church and they may not come. Tell them you're going after their child. I want to help your family get wealthy. And then teach them what wealth is all about. Because we got to have these conversations. We have to. We got to help our own. Yeah, my mama said, blessed is the child that got its own. So we got to have it.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Awesome. So Coach Chad, what about you? How can we keep the conversation going? Because some homes don't even talk about money. So how can we have this conversation in our homes?
Well, one of the things that I do in my financial service business is that we have family gatherings, family gathering on Zoom. Whereas I always say, you want to host your family gathering, and they host the family gathering. They come in, and we just talk. We talk about money. Just like I just did this morning. I was talking to a group of people this morning. We just did some talking about money. So we just start talking about it. And as I do it, then they begin to do it themselves. They started having that conversation with their family. And it's just having these conversations. But see, you can't have a conversation where you don't know what to say. And so that's what the problem is. The problem is it's not that we don't want to have a conversation. We just don't know what to say. Why? Because we're unlearned ourselves when it comes down to wealth. So we can't have that conversation. So what I do is I have that family conversation. I say, hey, let's do a family gathering. Get your family together. Get them on Zoom. We get on Zoom and we do a talk. We start talking about money, answering questions about money. So then now they start to get accustomed. They start to getting a little comfortable with it. And then when they get a little comfortable with it, see, that's when they start to expand. And then they start coming to you and saying, man, I thought I saw this and I thought I saw this. So you're expanding that mind. And that's what we want to do. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful, awesome. So we're gonna wrap this up. We went over our time. And again, I'm gonna have to invite you guys back. I'm gonna try to schedule you both together because you guys are a good fit. Small business owner and a money coach. Yeah, you have so much knowledge about
we got
money.
good spirits together.
Yes, we do, Miss Judy.
So let me just go ahead and give this wrap this up. So Dr. Judy, let me start with you. Is there anything that you want to announce today? Any projects you're working on? Anything you want to pitch? Go ahead.
Yep, I want to pitch the Real Talk Sister Girls Network Retreat, which is going to be January the 20th to the 22nd. Listen, and make this real short, but we have a Sister Girls Retreat. You could go to Real Talk Sister Girls Retreat Network. No, that's wrong. Anyway, Temia, you can type this for me. So it's www.realtalksistergirlsnetworkretreat.com. Go there and get all of the information. I would love to invite all of the women to come. We're going to be at Jackal Island Resort. The villas are huge. The space is good. And what are we doing? We're bringing women together from every denomination, every organization. We're building a hub. January the 20th, that's that Thursday, we are going to officially launch the Sister Girls Network. So if you all can go to that website, it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. I think the cost is like $275 if you do the registration by tomorrow, 11:59 tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday. Yes, October the 31st, or it'll be $300. So just, I would love to invite all of the women to come. And you will begin to see it on YouTube. You will begin to see it on Facebook, Instagram. But we would love to have you all to join us for 3 days of sister fellowship. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. I mean, I'm ready to go. Okay.
Go.
Take my mama and my aunt. Okay.
Bring them.
Yes. All right, Coach Chad, let me go to you. Anything you want to announce or anything you want to pitch, any projects you got going on? Go ahead.
Well, my website is livingbeyondyourpaycheck.com. On that website, you can subscribe to be a financially healthy member. It's an annual subscription that you get a bunch of education about finance and learning about how to manage money. I do the review of my book multiple times. We have on demand. We have classes on demand. We have live classes. We have the book is free. You can actually get the book free, but you pay for shipping. We have shirts, t-shirts, mugs. We have everything on the website. So on this website is an educational website to educate our community with everything we can. I have youth classes that I do once a year. I have young adult classes that we do once a year. So we're setting up our program for this next year. So for people to subscribe, you can subscribe for $199. You subscribe, and that'll be coming out shortly on subscribing for next year. It's a great program that we have, and I'm willing to serve you. And I do personal financial coaching. There's no cost for me to do the personal financial coaching, and it's just great services that we're trying to do. We're doing similar to Dr. Judy, and we really want to hook up with you, Dr. Judy, and anything that we can do to help and serve our community.
All right. Awesome. I love it. So we're bringing this information to the audience because, again, this show is about having a mindset for success. And I just pray today that everyone will be blessed, and so that we all can prosper and get the knowledge that we need in order to prosper. So I just thank God for you two. And I just want to say that I hope you're blessed. I know you're blessed, but I speak prosperity over your lives, and I speak blessings over your lives. And may you go forth and motivate and help people in the name of Jesus. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So you guys, thank you for watching Mindset for Success. And I'll see you next week, the same time. We're on every Saturdays at 10 a.m. on Facebook Live, also on YouTube Live. And then it'll rerun on Kingdom Purpose TV. If you have Roku or Apple TV or a Fire Stick, you will go ahead and pull that up on Kingdom Purpose TV, and you'll see us every Monday night at 9 p.m. So until next week, you guys be blessed.
You have the mindset for success. If you're looking for positivity or looking for encouragement, Temia Brinson aims to educate you